Today I'm joined by Beagle and NoiceGuy, or the Autistic Armchair General. I don't know if you like going by AAG or not, but I would like for y'all to introduce yourself to the people. If you guys don't know who these people are, and you know my channel, that is absolute fucking heresy, please go check them out. They are pretty good at their crafts of being content creators, and then they're pretty good at Broken Arrow as well. Guess we can start off with Beagle.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm 35. Been playing for most of that life and been streaming for like 10 plus years now. Just very excited for Broken Arrow. I just play a lot of strategy, play a lot of turn-based stuff, so I tend to play like a bit slower. I need to prep before I get into the match generally, but I just really like Broken Arrow. Looking forward to like spamming it when it comes out, and actually getting legitimately good at it would be nice.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely plan on playing a fuck ton of it myself. Mr. NoiceGuy.
Yeah, so I guess internet village idiot of games, between FPS, the quote-unquote extraction shooter versus tactical shooters, and then my actual first true love is RTS games, and I was lucky enough to know Felix from the Wargame Red Dragon days, and have been in tune to the development of Broken Arrow since like the earliest days, and just been addicted to it day one. Super happy that the days were actually, I just did a post just now, 17 days away. So just yeah, super excited to be able to finally just like play this game and not be like, okay, we lose access in a week. How many videos can I record? Oh, we lose. I better go record the armory or something because we're gonna lose access tomorrow. On that note, actually, I did talk to Felix yesterday. They are going to reset our stats. I don't know if that's something that they've said before, but everybody's getting reset for release. So
yeah, it's been said publicly before, but I'm sure a lot of people don't know that. And then we also have me. I'm here. I am just a small little Broken Arrow YouTuber. I started this channel off about a year ago. Within the first closed beta, I got to rank number 7, and then in the last open beta, I was number 70, for those of you who think it matters. And then when we did the competitive tournament for the last open beta, we got to the semifinals, which was super fucking fun. It was a great time. But going away from that, I kind of want to talk about like the viewers here, right? So it's going to be mostly like the new players and the new player experience that I want to talk about. So like the first impressions, and then how approachable do you guys think like Broken Arrow is going to be for new players?
I think it's gonna have like a what's the word? A skill floor. I think it's very easy to turn players off the game. Yeah, well, there'll be a skill ceiling too, but I think more the floor, like getting into the game. I think it's gonna be very easy for people to get turned off of it. I think it's like one of the most amazing games ever, but it's like, especially if you go into multiplayer first, I think it's a very easy game to feel very overwhelming. Do you know what I mean?
That's very fair. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm trying to remember right now. We were playing. Right now, the game that this friend group is playing is Gray Zone Warfare, and Sacriel has been playing with us, and he is super excited for Broken Arrow. We're gonna be squadding up with him. And he had such a good explanation for it. There was something that he compared it to that I'm forgetting at the top of my head at the moment. Somebody watching this that perhaps was also watching that might remember, because I like blew up because I was like, bro, that's such a good way of putting it, because our situation here is, even if it is very intimidating, it actually is very interesting. And I have this hopefully this will be useful actually. The significant portion of my following is from tactical shooters, is from extraction shooters, this game called Escape from Tarkov. And I get a lot of people over the years that have said that Escape from Tarkov was their first PC shooter, which I find completely can we swear? Are we able to?
Yeah, you swear, yeah.
Completely fucking insane that's the case.
Yeah, that is fucking insane.
But because of like the life of that game, where it was like super popular on Twitch during, or became popular on Twitch during COVID, and nobody had anything else to do, and their streamers that they were watching for like Warzone or whatever were playing Escape from Tarkov. They're like, oh, how do I play this? Oh, it's only on PC. So they would go and get PCs to play Tarkov. Well, a lot of those people are now saying Broken Arrow is going to be their first RTS. Like literally those people are coming to Broken Arrow. And on top of that, I've got one of my good friends, Clean, who plays all these tactical shooters. He does not play RTS games, and because Sacriel and I were talking about, well, not strictly this, because he's seen me be posting about it, and he's heard me talk about Broken Arrow a lot. He's literally never played RTS games, or barely touched them or something, and he's going to come and play Broken Arrow with us. So he wants to see, he's seen the gameplay, he's seen the way that we talk about it, and he wants to come play it. On top of that, Karmakut, who is big in the tactical shooter streaming world, squad world, he's played like base building RTSs, and something about the posts that I've been making and what he's heard me talk about, he's like, I'm gonna get back into RTS. I DM'd the rep that was doing that and was handling that press stuff for our press access in April, and unfortunately he didn't make any of the multiplayer, but he was able to do the single player, and he's never touched Broken Arrow. He never even knew about it until the day before, and he was able to successfully do, I think it was like the medium difficulty of the single player. So I don't actually know the full like difficulty that he may or may not have had to get to that point from the base building RTSs that people are probably mostly familiar with, but he was able to at the, you know, what's the right word there? I guess if you want to say medium is like an average level, or at least that's what they would be shooting for if it is the medium difficulty, he was able to complete that in a single player world. Now, is part of your question going to include multiplayer is the real thing? Because if it does, that's going to be extremely difficult. Single player, good to go. Scenarios, you're good to go. Play co-op with your friends, you're going to learn a lot. Go on multiplayer, people are going to have complete fun with you, and you're going to end up as a clip of somebody dropping a nuke, basically, at some point, probably.
Yeah, I think when I think of the new player experience, I'm really thinking of the multiplayer a lot, especially because in the single player I've played so far of Broken Arrow, I don't think it's like super similar. I don't think you can play the single player missions that I've played so far and get very prepared for your first multiplayer match. So it's going to be very easy to have a bad experience. I had a bad experience with my first matches of this because it was just too overwhelming, and I was about to go, oh, this game's too hard for me, but I really wanted to get into it. Like you said, lots of people are very interested in this game, as they should be. It's a great game. But I do wonder how many are going to get turned off it. People who might like it because they have a bad experience and don't know where to go next. I think it'll be good. I want to help people get into it. You know, I want to do tutorials and stuff. I really want to help people find the way to enjoy it.
Yeah. When it comes to like new player experience for like the multiplayer, in my perspective, the reset is great and all, but I'm worried because now it's going to throw everybody into the same pool for that first couple days, and some guy who just started playing is going to get stacked against like who knows what, and maybe it's like a crazy team and it's going to get stomped on. He's never going to want to touch the game again, and that worries me. But I don't really see a way around that without making it fair. Dude, kind of is what it is.
Dude, I've been telling them for actual, it's had to have been over a year now. There really should be a system in place so that when you want to go and play multiplayer, you play bots. You play co-op against bots. Like you have something there that's like you go to queue in, you don't have a choice. And this is for everybody, and it's almost like even though you don't want to play competitive, it's like a tutorial for the multiplayer. I forget if we've talked about this on our podcast or not, but it's they like I've been telling Felix for this for so long, and so I want to get your take from somebody that isn't Bolt Sauce or isn't somebody that I've been talking to this whole time about this. But it would literally be you have to what's the word? It's like not ranking. It's placement. It's sort of like a placement match. Which I don't know if you guys have played tactical shooters. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so it's co-op. It's you want to go play multiplayer, but it's co-op, and then you have these placement matches where it's just AI. It's like the war game AI, if or whatever. Nothing too crazy, but it's you don't bomb your friends' units. You actually it like tracks to see, did they spend a certain amount of score per minute? Did they buy like 90% of a specific unit? Did they buy logistics? Did they buy artillery? Did they buy air? And then there's ways to like come up with a system to diagnose the, because this is all it's all tracked. They have these crazy like with our accounts there. I don't know how deep you guys have gone into it, but they track like each one of the specs and like how many kills you get and what's your score and like how many points you've captured. It's not gonna be
they could definitely do something like that for sure. They could definitely do a placement. I could see it being handy, especially for something like one or however many you want to do, a small number. It wouldn't get too much in the way. I think it'd be fine if their bots are there, if their AI is there. It's a fine idea, sure. I think it would also be good for them to have like, I don't know what they're gonna have on release, but having like a direct tutorial for the MP, maybe like the tutorial content I've played for their SP so far. It's like diegetic. It's in universe. It's like you're actually the commander, and we're gonna do like a firing range, and that's cool. But they could probably use like a really video game tutorial of like, here's preparing you for multiplayer. This will happen. This will happen.
It's not gonna have
use recon. Yeah, and I think
it's not gonna have any of that. And I've been hitting them about it for like, I'm like, guys, please, for the love of God, do something. And they just like, it's something or other comes up. Unless they completely surprise me. You know, on this topic in particular, it's been at least a couple of months since I've talked to Felix about it. But as far as I know, there's not going to be any of that. It's just good luck. The saving grace that I've had, or that I've kept in mind, is like there's so much more to the game. There's the single player. There's the what have you guys been calling the mod? It's not mod support, because they're not going to support
the scenarios.
They're just not going to stop you. Well, no, it's like you can call it mod support. Like they're basically, the lack of a better phrase is
there will be a modding framework.
Oh fuck, he's here.
Yeah, so it's like they'll completely allow you to mod, you know, everything but the maps. You can't make your own maps, perhaps.
Oh, you mean the scenario editor? Like that? That's
just the game in general, just like the full game in general.
Just give me a second here. Let's just introduce Yeet, because you just kind of popped him out of fucking nowhere. Yeet, if you could just tell the people who you are real quick, and what your expertise with like Broken Arrow is before you continue.
Yo, so yeah, I'm Yeet. I ain't cool like you guys. You'll make YouTube videos and stuff, and it's sick because everyone loves watching it. I am seen around on the press build. I am a tester, but that's all I can really say on that matter. And yeah, I've been playing since the first OBT. I've played it just a bit before that. But yeah, primarily I just help around, play the game. I was in at least the top 20. I don't want to be so ambitious to say I was in the top 10 in the last two betas. But yeah,
so
the game, and I do all this stuff. So.
So the question we were just going over, I really don't know when you came in here, was about the new player experiences, and then seeing like how approachable Broken Arrow is for new players. NoiceGuy brought up like a potential for the what's the word? The not queuing. First couple games, you play some matches to be done versus AI to see like your personal skill level before you're thrown in against the wolves to just like the entire player base.
Let me add in here too. This is not like a competitive aspect. It's literally just, do they know how to play? Because it's so different. I mean, we've seen IGN people try to play, and they literally don't call in any units. I hope you guys have seen that too. Like, there's people that are being paid to promote the game, or are being, you know, for whatever, whether it's their, you know, it's their viewers, or it was directly from Slytherin, or whoever the fuck did it. It's just that they should know that they're supposed to know the game, and they at the surface level don't even know to call in units. So that can be a significant, you know, issue in multiplayer. So and if people want to get better at it, and obviously that's the lowest level that you could possibly be, but it's simply just, hey, there's this thing called a seed run. Hey, you know, this is how stealth works. This is how, which the tutorial does a good job, but it doesn't tell you that, hey, you know what? That's the third time that you put that unit over there in that SAM system over there in that field, and it died without even shooting yet. There's probably recon there. You should probably look around a little, like that kind of stuff. Like, it's not necessarily skill level stuff. It's just, basics of just getting into what it feels like to play against other people in that kind of setting and not have it be on rails, like even as difficult as it can be with the single player or a scenario.
Okay, so the way that I took it was that it affects your MMR and how well you do versus the AI.
Not at all.
Okay, so it's more of like a just training.
Can you fucking play? Yeah, it's
okay.
literally just that. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
I think that'll be something that we can do with the scenario editor tool too. Like, I think
if it's not hard coded in there, then people aren't going to do it, and then they go into multiplayer, and then your first couple of matches might end up being like one or two of your teammates are buying a couple of helicopters. They're not properly supported. They're stealing your supplies.
Of course.
And they're suing.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen every game, no matter what.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, come on, bro. There's ways around it. Basically, that it's fixable. We have the technology.
Ideally, yeah. Ideally, to be like official and there in the main menu. But failing that, I do look forward to what we can do as well to kind of help people get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with all of this because, like, I don't know about you guys, but if you take the first day you played the multiplayer beta, I don't know how that went for you, but I'm not gonna lie, I was trash. I had no idea what I was doing. And if the experience is the same out for launch, yeah, there might be a problem. I can see that problem developing. Yeah. There's a lot of people new to the genre as well, like a lot of people.
That's kind of
over the lifetime of the multiplayer betas. There's so many people who have no idea what an RTS game is, or have never played it before, just know of it.
So we're gonna try. Go ahead. I was
just saying that. No, that's all right. It's just a lag with talking. It'll always happen. It's just basically what we were saying. I was going to sum up the topic because you popped in halfway. Is that like, how do we feel how the new player experience is going to go? Because there's a lot of enthusiasm, but I think a lot of it could get lost, unfortunately, on release.
Definitely agree.
Yeah, so this kind of goes into the next thing I want to talk about, but my new player experience for me when I was brand new, I had somebody walk me through it, and it was great because he was explaining like how everything works and all this kind of stuff and how to use things. And if I didn't have him, then I probably wouldn't be as good, or I wouldn't even be here at all for sure. So that kind of leads me into the whole solo queue versus like stacked kind of things, or like sub stacks, like 2-3 man stacks and that kind of stuff. For you guys, how does multiplayer feel when you're playing solo versus with your friends? And then do you prefer like solo or team play?
I have a very, very strong feeling about this, so I don't know.
That's why I put it in here.
I had a feeling. Okay. So thousands of hours in Wargame. Probably 500 or 600 hours in this. I almost immediately decided that I was not going to play on a team stack for this game because I know what those feel like in Wargame, and the games are extremely similar. So I felt that it was going to be in my brain's not brain. I felt like it was going to be a better decision for me to go at it solo and get a better understanding of what other people do in the game and what allows me to make the biggest impact, because then I can understand like how other people play the game much easier, because it's I won't have to, if I'm playing with my teammates, or if I'm playing with my buddies, like we're going to be fucking around and we're not really worrying too much about our each other's gameplay. So now what I can do is I can completely focus and control my own units, and then still learn from people around me and try and learn something new, because I've been playing with the same idiots for like the last 10 years. So I have very strong feelings on the balance of the game that I base off of what I know works for one person that definitely knows what they're doing and can set up unique tactics, and because I've seen other people have success with it against certain things. And then basically, if I know that something is very strong because I've done it myself, if I feel something is out of place, I basically just take, what if there was 2 of me doing that? What if there was 3? What if there was 4? Or fuck, what was there? What? That's probably already the end of it, but God forbid, what if there's fucking 5 of me doing that on a team, and then give an impression on that? So that's one part of it. I think that I can feel as strongly as I can feel in terms of the balance of things and the way that the units work and things like that, because I can see what works and what doesn't work, and then multiply that basically. So that's one side of it. The other side of it is, like I just said a second ago, I've been playing with the same idiots for 10 years over a war game. I know of these guys who's just clicking buttons, who's just there to hang out with the buddies, who's just there to have tanks blow up other tanks, which I do sometimes too. I just want to see stuff blow up sometimes too. Sometimes. And to see them have 2200 or 2100, what's it called? The fucking rank thing. ESO? ELO, whatever that is. And then I go play one game with them, and they just don't understand the basics. Like, some of the basics is really fucking weird. It's super, super weird. So I think that I know for a fact there is like this thing going on where people are chasing numbers that are not their numbers. It's their group's numbers. It's your group of friends numbers for those ELO, because you guys are running around in Discords talking to each other, coordinating. Hey, let's get a siege run. Hey, let's do a bombing run. Hey, the 3 of us, or fuck the 5 of us, let's do this one thing. And you can not combat that unless that other team is also in a Discord call. So it's literally 2 different worlds, completely 2 different worlds between a solo person playing without a Discord and 5 people in a Discord call. They are literally 2 different games, and it's
much easier. Yeah,
you're not going to convince me otherwise. You're just not.
No, it's much easier to play in a stack in these games, especially when you're not being queued up against other stacks. A game like this isn't going to have like matchmaking where it matches team v team, I imagine. So it's much easier. But I agree with you completely. I really like soloing in general of games, and I'm looking forward to this game. I've done it in the last betas. I think it's a lot of fun. I feel like I might just be antisocial, but I kind of prefer soloing. I like the quiet. I like focusing on myself. I think it's where you get the best improvement out of yourself as well. Like, I think if you want to get better, it's a lot easier on your own. But you have to not care about losing matches. Like, you should do everything you can to win, but it should be more about, did you play well rather than did you win? Because you're not going to be able to control it. Like, as a solo, you can't win every match. Can't win every match anyway, but a lot more. And you just have to go like, all right, did I do a good job? What could I have done better? Even when you win, what could I do better?
Yeah.
If you can do that, then you'll be fine solo queuing this game. But if you're someone who like really hates to lose and you can't like get into that mindset, I think solo queuing will be pain for those people, because again, like you said, like the team stack difference is very large, and you'll run into that and you'll have a lot of trouble.
Kind of on the other fence here. So I don't like solo queuing. I find it to be boring, not being able to talk to anybody. I like to have fun when I play my games. I don't like to just like sweaty meta try hard as much as I can all the time, unless it's like a tournament game or something like that. And I think that playing with friends just makes it more fun. Now, if this game didn't provide the opportunity to have like the communications with people or set you up in those stacks, then I would hate it. But the Discord's there, right? It's open, it's public, and everybody can get in. There's like 60,000 people in that Discord. Just go into a group, find people, and then it's going to make you better at the game by playing with other people. I also have my own Discord too, where we're glad to teach any new people whatever the hell they need to know about Broken Arrow, and we'll be doing like our own little groups in there too, and all that kind of fun stuff. It feels like a better game to me when you're playing with friends, because you have more fun. And I think at the end of the day, when you play games, like you want to have fun, and having fun is definitely a lot easier when you're not by yourself watching, 2 or 3 dudes do fucking what looks like absolutely nothing the entire game, just pissing you off. It's just, I don't know. I don't like to play games to get mad about them, even though, rage does get induced sometimes, but...
Dude, I hear that. I don't know if I even fucking said this bit for people that don't know, but the vast, other than this press preview where we had specific games set up, hell, actually, that was the most Discord time I've ever had in Broken Arrow, were those 3 days. that press thing, because I've played vast majority of my games solo. And I think something important to say is I fell in love with the genre playing war game with my friends. I'm just so that truly, like, that's what I like, all of my memories of like this, of not this genre, but I don't know what to call it. This
the
war gameness, because it plays like war games. So it's just like this style of RTS is with a Discord call or a TeamSpeak call of my buddies playing this game. It's just this in particular with the route that I've taken. I wanted to try and go a different route and try and understand the game as well as I possibly could ahead of full release, so that I could do my best to give my impressions and give my feedback, and just try and help as much as possible, which I don't think I was going to get. I am certain that you don't get if you play as a team, because it's not actually like what most other people are going to get. Right. What I'd like to see, which is physically impossible, is what percentage of the player base is playing in a Discord call. And multiplayer, it's definitely a high percentage. And then if it's single player, how many of those people might want to try multiplayer, want to, and then don't go out of their way to try and find a community to be a part of, or even just try to get into a call. So slight tangent here. We have a large Star Citizen org, which I definitely understand is another discussion for another fucking day on that game in general. But we constantly are trying to bring in new people, right? And we're constantly trying to recruit. We just need bodies. We need people to crew these ships. We need people to hold guns, stuff like that. The amount of times that we have a new guy show up, or girl show up, we're all in a call, we're just hanging out, they come in, say nothing, and then leave because they just have no idea how to like interject or that's just gamers, bro. That's just the thing. So that's why I'm saying like we gotta help them as much as possible. But it's got to be something hard coded into the game, because it's just too much to ask for most of these people. It just truly is, dude.
I mean, okay, that's fair. I agree with that. But to go to my main point, essentially, is for the new people who are coming in, the guys who are watching this video, your recommendation for them, like, should they go solo queue initially, or should they go with a team stack initially? Like, what's going to be more fun and more, like, beneficial down the road for them?
You absolutely should try and talk to people. You absolutely should play with people. That's just, there's no question. If you're newer, you're going to not know things. And those people are probably going to know at least some of the things that you don't, and they'll help you along the way. Hopefully they help you out if you find the right community, hopefully. And you don't get the hardos, because sometimes that can also be a thing. Hopefully, depending on what, community you run to, hopefully they're not like, what are you fucking doing, you idiot? Why'd you kill, you guys know what I mean. Just like suiciding things or playing things incorrectly. Let people learn at their own pace. Let people play the game that they want to play at all costs. Like, just definitely do that. You definitely, if you're one of the newer players, you don't be an asshole to anybody, and don't expect handouts, don't expect help, but try to seek it and see what you find, and hopefully you find a good community in that end. If you play solo, you're gonna be in a dark room that gets lit up by cab 1500s and for a while.
Yeah, I think it comes down to your tolerance for pain.
Yeah.
I think there are different kinds of players. If you're the kind of player who, like I was saying before, doesn't mind losing matches and can still have fun and take away things from that, then you're going to be fine in the solo. It's a very interesting game, has a lot of depth to it. You can get really good at it, I think. It's very, very interesting. If you do not have that sicko gene to be able to kind of grind like that and really enjoy that, then try and play with any of your friends who are interested, or go to the Discord, push out of your comfort zone, talk to someone. Just playing in a group with people will make it easier. So it's an easier way to get into it. I actually want to hear what you think as well, Profane, because one of the reasons I wanted to have you when we were talking about this is I wanted to have someone who's got like that real life. I think you're a very good player and you're very switched on to a lot of things, because naturally with what you do, and I want to hear what you would say, like new players trying to get into it, like actual advice they can take away from this and be like, how do you get into the game if you don't have friends, basically? Because I think if you have friends, it's a bit easier. But like, if you don't have friends, what do you recommend people do?
The one thing that is going to actually help the game a lot. But I feel like for the new player experience up first is the quick matching system, which is it's the button at the top of the screen. You get in, and then you're meant to have the ability to just click a button, it'll find you a game on your own and nothing like that.
100%.
It's meant to be the quickest way for you as a new player, either coming into the game just for multiplayer or coming into the game from single player and wanting to try out multiplayer, to go and play multiplayer. You don't look up a group, you just click it, it'll find you a game, it'll put you in a team, it'll pick your faction.
It works very well.
It works really well.
I used it constantly, and a lot of people, I actually had people accuse me of cheating because there were the times where the games would be American and Russian, and they thought that for some reason because I started the lobby, it was or something. And that was like, bro, I've literally just clicked quick play. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, but it works great. I used it a lot. So yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
It is, but I will caveat is saying it can be definitely a dice roll for the new player experience. But thankfully, there's two things that's coming out in Broken Arrow that I've only seen really from a game like Company of Heroes, but it's not really the same. But it's the idea you can create a lobby for your stack ahead of time before you go into search, and that alone already is another great thing in a way of is probably the best recommendation I have for the new players who are kind of who aren't confident enough to be playing on their own and discovering things on their own. I mean, when we were doing the betas and stuff prior to whatever I do now, is if we didn't have a full stack, we either go and promote it in Discord and say, hey, whoever, we don't mind. Sometimes we get new people and say, hey, we've got a stack, we've got like 3 people already, come and join us. Or we go and leave the lobby open, and if people join, we say, hey, come and join the Discord, we're in this channel, come find us. We're just in VC. Some of these guys are extremely new, some of these guys have played before. But that gave us the advantage to actually like communicate, understand each other, kind of figure out how each other play. You know, it's always a dice roll experience. Sometimes you'll find a guy who suits your play style. Sometimes you'll find a guy who just does the opposite of whatever you're trying to do, and it is more of a burden to your gameplay. But these sort of things as well is definitely beneficial for a new player. I don't really know what it's like to be a new player going in blind for the game, because it was actually very quick. It was probably after my 5th game ever playing Broken Arrow that I joined the Discord and started meeting people. I'm pretty sure I met LDE after like the 10th or 15th game I played ever. And I've played a lot by this point, just through the betas themselves, to where all my other games eventually involved some form of voice communication, even if it's not a full 5 stack, to be able to have a bit of coordination at some capacity. And I think the coordination aspect is so baked into me and how I play the game that I find it very hard to play solo. If you can't communicate well to the rest of your team, I feel like that is a problem. I feel like it's also more of the mindset for newer players, especially a lot of solo players, not like you NoiceGuy, because you've gone through the experience of playing solo, but I feel like a lot of new players who just play solo are there to just play the game in their own world and not really chat with the rest of the team. And I think that's okay. That's what you're allowed to do. You should be able to do that. But there's limited tools of communication and coordination if you do decide to play that way, which is definitely a very big benefit if you can do that in playing the game. Things like coordinating scenes around artillery, prioritizing targets.
Yeah.
I mean, Wargame has that issue, but at least you can do like message pings and stuff like that.
Exactly. I was just gonna ask actually if they're adding more pings for that, because Felix brought it up, and that was before we went too off topic there. Because that's there's a couple things I wanted to touch on with what you said there. Because first off, you were mentioning it's beneficial to a new player. It's beneficial for them to be able to get into the game, but it stops at that. Like you're not going to be able to learn anything. You're just going to die a lot. And then there's a lot of games that end up finding success in that, like what's your tolerance for pain, like Beagle said. I think that's what you're. I think that was the phrase that you used there. Same thing goes for games like Escape from Tarkov. I guess War Thunder, maybe, if you guys have played a bunch of War Thunder, like you don't know what you're doing wrong, you just die constantly. Same thing there, but and yet they're this successful. So maybe that's fine. But I'm really hoping that there are routes. I'm really hoping that there's things that I haven't been told about. One of which being what you just mentioned right there was, is there some way to do the little messages, just like, hey, artillery, this, give me 1 minute and I'm going to move here, instead of the chat, which they might not be looking at, or a ping that they just see an exclamation point or a supply box or whatever that cross is.
That would be
whatever,
nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that would be nice.
And Felix said that they were going to be adding more. I think I talk about this fucking game too much, so I forget. I forget if he said that it was in yet, or if they were gonna have it for release, but they were going to add more to that system, in general. But you need it. You need to be able to quickly be able to say that kind of stuff, or be able to communicate more effectively. One of which being, I almost wish there was a VoIP. I almost wish, like, I know that things can go very badly, especially with the community. If we want to take it off of Wargame Red Dragon, there's definitely interesting characters that can pop up with that. But like, I'd want to see what effect a VoIP would have. To hey, buddy, just just go over here. Hey, there's probably recon over here. Heads up, just stuff like that.
Get every streamer banned for sure. That'll be the first thing that'll happen.
Oh, you can mute it. Hopefully you can mute it, right? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, the last time I played League of Legends, when they added in VoIP for the first time, was an interesting experience, to say the least. And I don't think League of Legends is a great comparison to what VoIP would bring here. Since the game is a lot more toxic, I think, in nature with its community. I think BA is growing. Yes, that's true. I think BA has a lot of members that are really interested in just explaining and teaching the game to other people, because everyone's so interested in the mechanics and stuff like that.
Which is great.
Running a PGM is awesome. Like, half my time on the Discord was teaching people and explaining how mechanics work.
So I've had this conversation about VoIP with Felix before, and he, in a way, he kind of confuses me every time he talks to me, but in a way he said that it'll also stress the servers. So with how bad the servers were on those other two playtests, they didn't even want to like touch that shit with a 10-foot pole. And they're like, dude, the Discord's here, it's free, just come in, just use the Discord. There's no reason to stress our servers out even more when they're already struggling.
He's got this way of like having a perfect excuse for all the good ideas like that. It's like it's worth discussing. Like, I understand it causes problems, but at the same time, like, we got to think of the fucking benefits sometimes. It's just like, I understand that it could be the balance of a single unit, of a single weapon, of a single fucking infantry squad, or the running speed or anything like that. It was like, well, you got this over here. He seems to always have a valid excuse for things, but at the same time, it's like, how much further are we gonna go where there's these friction points? I guess it's not like it's the end of the world, but there's a lot of fucking friction points for a lot of this stuff, and it's just like, can we figure out something? Can we solve something here, please, for the love of God?
Yeah, he definitely has his like Felix vision on how he wants the game to play, but I do think he's malleable to certain, like, some things if you have like a pretty good reasoning for it.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, it just takes a while. You gotta whittle him down a little bit. I'm still working on my TOE2 Bravo Aero Gen 3 on the TOE Vs, for the love of God. But, maybe one day, because he promised and said that there's no way that there will ever be caps in the game, and now there's caps in the game. So, I mean, it's just on counter-active protection system. It's like the RPG 30 or whatever.
RPGs that ignore APS.
Yeah, caps.
Promise that?
He promised, yeah. There would never be caps, because I brought it up with the TOE2 Bravo Aero Gen 3. The big thing with that is it counters active protection systems. And it's a little bit farther range, but they're like, no, there's no reason for caps. We're not gonna do caps. It's gonna break the game. All this kind of shit. So I'm like, all right, well, that's a fair excuse. And then they brought in caps, and I was like, okay, well, what the fuck? Just put it on my TOE V, because the TOE Vs aren't the greatest. But whatever.
He's got that War Thunder problem.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
He's got that War Thunder problem where this is the kind of game where you can say that kind of shit. You can be like, it's not even like making up, like, please add this to COD or whatever. It's like, oh no, you can point at a real world piece of military kit and be like, please add this. We should have this. Please give it to us. It works like this.
Yeah, I guarantee if he was here, his response would be, well, you only have 4 of them. It's not a big deal. It's only on a recon team.
Yeah,
with
but you can
ambushers or whatever, right?
Yeah, but you can just give me 4 of them on the TOE V as like an additional thing, and put the regular TOE2 Bravos later. Like, dude.
Yeah.
Damn. So it's personal for me because I'm in the military and working with tows is like my job, especially on tow Vs. So like it's my baby and I want my baby in the game.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, and like it's also it would not be bad for balancing because like the tow Vs are not crazy great. No one's like, oh my god, tow Vs are so fucking OP, please nerf them. Like it'll make them stronger, have a little bit of a niche where they can hit something and actually hit it before they die to a tank round. But with that being said, right, this is actually kind of a good transition into our next topic here, which, NoiceGuy, if you could please be the last one, because I think everybody does know your answer here, brother, respectfully.
You can just call me Nolan too, by the way, guys. You can just call me Nolan.
All right, Nolan.
I think I forgot to mention that earlier. Just call me Nolan. It's all good.
All right, Nolan, if you could be the last one on this, because I think everybody does know your...
Nolan, Nolan.
Oh, I said that.
I thought I heard Noah. My bad, bro.
My bad.
Go ahead.
All right. Anyways, Nolan. All right. If you could be the my bad, dude. If you could be the last one for this, I think we do know your answer here. But for the best decks for the new players, and then the most anticipated decks. So, what will be the best for beginners, and what are you personally hyped to play, Mr. Beagle?
I feel like I only play US, so I can't give RU advice. I feel like for US, Airborne plus Armored is what I've played that is like the most normal default deck so far. You kind of have everything you need. You have good infantry, you have good guided team. You don't really have good CQB teams, I guess. But you have like nice tanks, nice vehicles, nice support, nice helos, nice air. It's just good. It's just a good basic combo. It can kind of do everything in different configurations. Bradleys are great. God unit, great to have. And then what the other part of the question was most hyped to play with, right?
Yeah.
I got addicted to SOF in the press matches we just played, so SOF Armored is kind of a bit more default, and then SOF Airborne is really fucked up, and I enjoy playing it. So I want to play a lot of that. I love infantry, so I want to play Airborne Armored, Airborne SOF and Armored SOF. Ton.
Okay. Alrighty. Yeah. For me personally, for like beginners, again, I only play US. I've never played Russia in multiplayer, only for single player. So we'll leave that to Nolan for the Russian part. But yeah. For the beginners, I would recommend anything with strikers. The strikers are so fucking strong. You can shoot javelins on the move at 1,500 meters. You have pretty good AA for your air. It's a good all-rounder. And then if you like match it with the Marines, for example, you have excessively strong good infantry. Or I mean, if you put it with any deck, it's good. So just put strikers and then shoot something else that you just fancy as a new player. And then personally for me, the what I'm super excited to play, it's kind of a shock if anybody knows me as being an airborne dude, but for me it's the SOCOM Marines. You get the most amount of SOCOM units possible because you get the Raiders, and then your staying power and your pushing power potential is there. Unlike SOCOM Airborne, where it's very, very hard to push unless you start doing more deliberate shit, which I'll do in the future with it to try to test it out to see if it is possible to like use that as a pushing deck. But definitely the one I'm most hyped about is the SOCOM Marines. It's just so fucking fun to play. You can just take a beating all game and dish it back out like twofold. It's fucking awesome.
That's like the most fucked up Woods deck. I want to play that too, because that's like 2 Marine Raiders, 3 Deltas, all the 4-con Black Ops. You have Rangers Recon. You just have all that shit in one deck. It's so funny.
The helicopter tab is going to be dirty, and the air tab's dirty as well.
Yeah,
you get 2 FEPs.
Yep.
Your support tab, you're hurting.
You're
gonna feel it.
Yeah.
Definitely. But now the rest is fucking solid. Yeah.
Yeah, you get no AA except for the lab ADs, which is not the worst. They're pretty good, but only having 3 lab ADs for your AA is not it's not good.
But they balance it based off of a couple of people, so just have one of your buddies play Airborne. You're good. Or not.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Dude, bring some Patriots and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, striker. Anybody in strikers near me, it'd be fine. And then Mr. Yeet, same question for you, brother.
I mean, for US, I would always go with armor as a base for a new player. And then second is either between like doing armored Marines, armored Airborne, even armored SOF, but I feel like that's a push for the new players.
sure.
Mainly on the limitation on like support points and vehicle points. You still want to have like your sort of fundamentals, and I think running armored for the US especially, so you at least have Abrams, because that's kind of your
punch.
base boast. Yeah, they can take a punch. You can fight them. You can obviously change that pick to just start with Marines as well, because you get the FEP and the HC. But I would say if you want to keep it nice and easy, you can start with armored and go for like airborne. Then you get the tier 2 infantry, or some flavor of infantry that's a bit better than your grunt mech rifles as well. So you have those options. You have good weapon teams in those picks as well, like the weapon squads, the cat teams, and you can kind of be flexible there. I love a lot of infantry. So I always consider that. And then, yeah, you got your basic armor. At least armored can bring in the Patriot, so you don't have to worry about using like a slam ram or not having AA in the regards of airborne and SOF. And then, Marines and SOF. And then you kind of still have everything you need there. You have a little bit of healers, a little bit of air. You typically have good recon, except in the case of airborne, because you only really get the sniper team.
So dumb.
Recon. I really wish for Pathfinders or something, hopefully in the future, but never know. And then, yeah, so I kind of go for that as the basis, and I think it's always a good place. And it's not really saying that new players can't really play without armor stuff, but I feel like there's a lot more to understand about the game before you try and experiment without running a deck without Abrams or something. And 100%. The US is limited in that aspect. Not in the tanks, but just the specializations that actually bring heavy armor. I don't consider the Booker to be armor enough. I feel like it's really good, it's really great, but it's more like a supercharged IFV in the same way that the Bubris is. So I wouldn't put it out there like that. Airborne on its own as well, like the Thunderbolt, you upgrade it with a 120 FV free gun. I think it's great, but without having all that finesse and ability to micro and ability to keep it alive and let it be a glass cannon like that, you might need a bit more time to start those. So that's where I'm coming from on that. On the Russian side, don't have to necessarily do the same, but I think my kind of go-to in my head is starting with Gods and going into Coastal or VDV, and I always like that blend, which is basically just sort of the mirror image to what I just said for the US. I think it's pretty much got the same deal going on. Decent spread of everything in every category, nice availability and things. You have, again, either baseline units or advanced units to help you out as well. And arguably still pretty decent recon. So all of that I really go for and cover. And I think that just helps you get the core basics learned in every category without having to sync or specialize or to over focus and stuff like that.
I think one thing I'll interject quickly before we go to Noise as well, this is kind of relevant to that, is that as a new player, I think a really easy mistake to make, and I made it and I continue to make it sometimes, is going like, oh, I love infantry, I'm going to use infantry for everything. That's a big problem, especially with this game, because travel times are big, a lot of fire support. Being slow makes you really vulnerable and makes it hard to react to things. You do want to learn your places to use vehicles and use them, and Armored is a great recommendation for beginners for US, because you have lots of vehicles, heavy and light and medium. It's very important to not try to do everything of infantry when you first get into this game, even if you love infantry like me.
I have to agree, but I'm the same. I like playing infantry a lot.
Yeah.
Infantry is cool.
Yep. Alrighty, Nolan.
What's he most excited for? What do you want to?
Well, he's currently playing it, so. what excites you?
His deck, his spec combo.
Yeah, because that's the new player part. What do you want to play? Well, on release then at least, or like what's your favorite deck? I guess because that was part 2, right?
Yeah.
Or are we skipping that part?
Yeet.
Yeet.
Sorry,
what was your favorite Yeet?
What's like your favorite deck?
What is my favorite deck? Ooh, okay. Then if we're going with hold on.
I've seen he has so many decks.
I need more time. That's actually the problem. I need more time to think myself because I don't think I have an answer either.
I got you.
I thought you were being like really empathetic and selfish. Like, no, I just need to like my time.
Typically, most of my favorite decks are things that play around full aggression. So, Beats experienced it the last day of the beta, but if it's from the Russian side, I really enjoy like very specific units that I can build around. So if I go on the Russian side, then I'm looking at things like the Su-33 with the F-25 rockets, and I love having builds around this. So things like doing heavy aggression, always contact under fire with like I think it's a coastal VDV deck. So it's very light in terms of vehicles, but the amount of force I can push out with infantry and recon as well to go and spot targets and send in Su-33s. I love doing that. It's weird because throughout the last beta and the press build, I rarely did any strafe runs and stuff like that. I don't do it on US. I never really use the Mavericks. So I like making builds around specific units or a specific like core concept. So that was one for Russia. Yeah, coastal VDV, Su-33s, building around, and then a lot of like expendable stuff to keep contact under fire. US is more of an interesting one. I don't really build too heavily around like some core aspect. I like keeping it well planned out over the entire group. But if I have to say my most favorite combo is something like Striker Armored, which is it's just absolute fun. You don't have a great air tab. You have no helos at all, which I think is a really interesting way to play about it. You have access to some really interesting units like the MML, which didn't perform so well during press. I think it's just down to some issues.
I didn't use it either, yeah.
But I should be able to say it is an amazing fucking unit when it goes well.
It seems that way.
It's really interesting if you can learn it. I think it's great fun. You have not the best infantry, but you have all this mobility that you can play around, and I think it's just great. Running 6 Striker MGS trophies is quite fun. I really enjoy going around town and watching all the guns rotate like a firing squad. Even if it's like a big tank, you're not gonna kill it. You're gonna bully the hell out of it, and that is okay.
That's what javelins are for. You're good.
That's what the javelins are for, exactly, right? So, yeah, you have this kind of really interesting build. You don't have a direct tank solution. Nothing can stay in contact for too long. But
you said armored.
right?
You said Striker Armored, right?
Striker Armored, but I'm actually just looking at the deck I have on that. I didn't actually put any Abrams in it. So
I'm so jealous that you can just see the fucking armor right now, just alone, just being able to see.
I am not confirming nor denying on how I am recalling my information.
Okay.
He's doing it in his
as
head.
we hear the clicking,
I am consulting the deepest areas of my mind.
You got a recording. You're pausing that you're playing.
Yeah. Sorry. I just recorded. It's actually from press. Anyway, so all of that is yeah, I didn't actually put any tanks in that deck, so I'm not exactly sure what my thought process was, but I know I really enjoy it a lot.
Your thought process was Striker.
The thought process was Striker, actually. But yeah, you can just switch out for like tanks and stuff that have direct contact stuff, but I always found it fun, like, being a rat, in essence, of what you can be in this game, for that aspect. So yeah, it's very fun.
Gotcha.
Typically, I like tier 2 infantry and stuff like that. I love playing around SOF, but I always like changing it up.
There's a lot of ways to play. That's a very good part of this game. There's a
100%.
lot of ways to play.
100%.
Absolutely.
I
bought you enough time.
Yeah. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
He's ready. He's ready to go.
Well, yeah, on the new player thing, I made a video a long time ago. I don't know if this is what you were alluding to or not there, but it's as a new player, you should stay out of the air. The two big, well, there's a lot of mistakes that new players can make, but one of the easiest thing to really torpedo your game is to throw away points in the air, especially now with airdrops that you can get in this game. You can very, very quickly throw away all of your points and kind of screw over your team. So I suggest that all new players essentially stay out of the air. And I've really narrowed it down. Shameless plug. My original guide to Broken Arrow for new players back from like two betas ago or whatever it was is still extremely useful information. I'm gonna remake it for launch because I have to. Enough's changed. But generally speaking, the top the strategy involved, I would still say the same. Stay out of the air, and so yeah, your two major mistakes are going to be throwing away planes in the air and your micro. So you're going to get flustered and you're going to forget that you did this thing with that unit. And so a way to combat that is just use very powerful units that you will have a few of, and then focus on your fundamentals. So do you have reconnaissance? Do you have supplies? Do you have a front line? Do you have a pushing unit? Do you have a holding unit? Do you have AA? Do you have AA? That's important. Do you have Sims? Do you have Shorad?
That's me.
No, that's everybody. No, that's just everybody. Like, just like that. If you're a new player, for fuck's sake, do you have AA? Please, for the love of God, bring AA. Genuinely, that's just what everybody. You people forget AA. Mid-level to veteran players. Sometimes, you know, we actually just brought this up in gameplay the other day. Bolt and I were commenting on one of our games. It's like everybody every once in a while you'll make a big push and then you get overzealous or you get too cocky and then you forget, oh shit, where's my AA? And then you're a million miles away because you've pushed so far with just, if you get lucky with a couple of units. So highly suggest, whether you're playing as United States or Russia, you choose a ground-based deck that allows you to focus on the fundamentals with your front line, your reconnaissance, your logistics, and your AA, and then you fight on the ground. Once you can actually do that and you feel comfortable with it, then you start worrying about planes. There's no problem if whatever deck you have has a couple of ASFs or something, so just if something gets a little bit too cocky or if they're just air spamming a little bit too much and you have some points to throw around, all right, throw a ASF out there and mess with them. But it's just too much between the bombing, between just all the features that the air power can get in this game. Don't mess around with that yet. Just focus on the ground if that's something that you actually want to do. I understand it's cutting out quite a lot of the fun, but again, think about what are you actually wanting to accomplish here? Do you want to actually improve at the game? Do you actually want to learn something? And then that's what I tell people to do. You cut it off. So just don't go in the air, stay on the ground, do that. If we got to choose a deck, I would say actually, yeah, armored. You know what? No, I wouldn't say striker because you bring up a good point with the no helicopters, and that's a pretty fundamental thing for eyes for reconnaissance to have something with like the 2000 or the 2400 or no. Can anything get 2400?
Yeah,
it's just 2000. It's just 2000, right? Maybe Yeet knows this with his mystical ability to recall the future or recall the past. I don't think any helicopters can get 2400. I think it's 2000. Maybe it is 2400.
Do the Kiowas
and helicopters can go up to 2400?
They can.
Yeah,
okay.
Optics. We're talking about optics, right?
Optics, correct. Optics, yes.
Yeah.
So maybe the
longbow, the Guardian, the Kiowa with the upgrade.
Then a few of the Russians can as well. So yeah.
Yeah, the Mi-28. And I think a 35, and then the I forgot what they are, the 52s, K52s.
Anything with those ET pods on the top, I think.
Yeah. So all right. So it's very powerful to have that, and you don't use it as a frontline unit, although it is there. It's to spot helicopters coming in, and it's to spot whatever you can, especially across open fields, and to help you, see stuff. If you can't see it, you can't shoot it. So reconnaissance is one of, if not the most important thing in the game, because you literally, if you can't see it, you can't fucking shoot it. So if you're playing as the United States, then maybe like an armored marine. Armored striker is a little bit too much because you don't really have access to the helicopters. But something heavy that you can focus on because you're not spending your points across an entire front line. It's just on a few units. They can take a punch if you make mistakes, and you can learn from them. So good to go there. With Russia, armored as well. Maybe armored moto. Some armored marine as well. Maybe armored marine for both to make it easy, and you can kind of get what you need from there. Although, does the Viper get 24? It's 2000 is usually enough.
Go up to 2000 for the Vipers.
Yes. Because also now that I think about it, America. So you named the Apache and the Kiowa. That's just airborne, and that's mixing it too much. So. Yeah, no, you wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to use an airborne deck.
It's the same Apache and SOF as well, but for a new player,
you wouldn't want to use an SOF either. Yeah, you gotta stay out of the air. So armor marine in both cases. Marine is
a very good spec.
I mean, 2000 is still very much workable.
Exactly, so 2000's fine. 2000's fine. And for my favorite, I genuinely like it was. I was joking earlier. It was So we just talked about this yesterday. I was playing Gray Zone Warfare with Clean and Sacriel. And Sacriel is he kind of plays everything, but he's a big RTS guy, Twitch streamer. Anybody that doesn't know him, really cool guy. And he is gonna be playing Broken Arrow with us, and we nerded out on RTS games and Broken Arrow in general yesterday. And he brought the topic up, and I don't think I can narrow it down to a single deck. I genuinely, one of the last things that I did before we lost access to that press build was I wanted to make a video of like my favorite deck, and like that's what everybody does. But I just kept going through what I had there, and I don't think I could come up with one. There's things that are fun with every single thing. So the only thing that I can say is the United States, I'm going to have a lot of fun with the strikers. They can kind of do it all with their mobility, with their APS, with the javelins, with the guns that they get, with some of the infantry that they get, the reconnaissance. Very, very much appreciate the fact that they added the F-16s with harms. It's just needed something else with Seed for the United States, even though they have a thimble of fuel. They will literally run out of fuel if you hit them with the afterburners once they hit the front line. But strikers are going to be a lot of fun, and I do like armored. So it's a weird deck because again you don't get helicopters, but I'm probably going to have a lot of fun with striker armored. Striker SOF is fucking awesome. So striker SOF for sure. Striker Marine's going to have its places for sure as well. Thankfully, Striker's got those Patriots, so that makes up for the lack thereof for the Marines. And why am I forgetting one? Why am I forgetting one? We got Airborne, Marine, Striker, SF, Armored. Oh, that's all of them. And I was going to say Airborne last because I just don't... If there was going to be a deck that I'm probably going to play the least, it's probably going to be United States Airborne. It's a cool 1-2 punch, not necessarily 1-2 punch. It's just kind of a cool setup to have Striker Airborne because you get the M8s or the Thunderbolts or whatever you call them, the tiny tanks with Airborne that you can team up with the Bookers and the Strikers and then kind of be like a super deadly, fast moving kind of thing. That's cool. The Apaches are cool. And you can get super cheap F-15s to just spam them down, are also pretty nice. But if anything, if there was a US deck that I'll probably use the least, it's probably going to be US Airborne. Now on Russia, I do like a lot. I probably am going to stick to some kind of combination of if I go ground, I go ground. If I go air, I fucking go air. So probably my most successful deck of all the tests is my Airborne Marine. I fucking love that thing. I fucking love just owning the air, whether it's from like a Seed perspective or from a ASF perspective. And it's my strong opinion that it is very good. And I think eventually everybody is going to actually realize that, and we'll see where we go from there. Hopefully they will do some balancing there or whatnot, and if they do, it's all good. But I'd like to ideally be able to play against, like, have like a coordinated team playing, a couple of Russian ground and having 2 or 3 Russian airborne players that actually specifically don't just put CAB 1500s on everything with wings, or just actually like try to own the air with the R37s and the Seed capabilities of those planes and the multi-role capacity that they have against somebody that on the other team is having 2 or 3 special forces decks with Raptors and F-35As that just don't even bother putting on the JADAMs or extra AMRAMs and just straight up JSOWs on the Raptors and 2,000 pounders on the F-35As. And if they go Marine, then you can even go with even more JSOWs on those F-35s. And do what I've been calling YOLO runs, which I have had, even though I didn't end up doing it enough yet, but I'm fairly certain that it's going to be the path, unless they've already made balancing around this, is just stick bombs on your stealth planes and send them forward. They're gonna fucking kill. They're almost certainly going to kill if you pick a frontline unit, and sometimes even if you don't, they're gonna kill whatever the fuck you want it to go at, especially if you have eyes on it. And if you tend to do that against the AA, then they're going to run out of AA. And if they don't have a way to stop you, then you kind of win from there. But I haven't seen that yet. Most games, I saw a lot of people still trying to win the air as the United States. But the games that I alone decided to put bombs on the F-35A and the Raptor, they just did the thing. They're just literally S-300, I want that dead. There you go, it's dead. And a lot of the time, it still made it out. For sure, it still made it out. You team that up with somebody that's going to be running Strikers, which is a great deck already, with those F-16s so that they can be in there fast, so that they don't necessarily know the F-16s are coming. They just, maybe they see the F-35s, maybe they don't. Or hell, maybe you send the F-35s and the Raptors ahead as a YOLO run. You don't really care if you lose them, so that you definitely have sucked them in. They definitely have their radars on, and then you quickly get in there with the F-16s with the seed. That might be, hands down, the most powerful thing in the world. However, I haven't fought that yet. I haven't seen that yet. What I have seen is a sky full of SU-35s and R-37s zapping around and seed missiles running around. And I myself have done plenty of it. So I have the most fun in the air, so that'd be cool. And Russian ground is also really powerful, even though they did nerf the T-15 a little bit there with the 300 instead of the 250. It's still the T-15. It's still really powerful. FLX turned me on to the BMP-3 with the Strora. 30% ECM, if I'm correct. Yeet with your all-knowing ability, or photographic memory.
5.
They nerfed it because it was 30. Sora on the BMP.
I just don't remember. I think it's probably 30 still. Then I don't remember. If you've used it if you have it, you probably have it in fresh memory.
Unless they've nerfed it. Yeah, unless they've nerfed it, I'm pretty sure it's 30. It could use a nerf because those things are fucking nuts too. And you could spam them around. My mindset has changed though. I swear this is the last bit of this topic here in general. My mind has actually changed a little bit because I fucked up big time with our press access, because even though it's literally recorded to have multiple people from FLX to Vulcan to others literally telling me to my face that they removed the thing where if you lose a unit, there's like a cooldown to you getting your ticks, your points per tick back.
Death tax.
They removed that. Yeah, it's death tax, right? They removed that. It just did not compute. It went straight over my head. So I literally played every single one of those games of the press preview, thinking that I need to keep all my units alive as much as possible, and it would have absolutely changed the way that I played every single one of those games on many occasions. Maybe not too much, because I still like to keep my units alive to just kind of hold the line. But generally speaking, I'm just like, why are all these guys just like throwing waves of VMPs away? Like, this is so weird. And how are they doing it so often? And literally the day after, I'm hearing again a recording of Vulcan saying that. I'm like, oh, fuck, what? And you can't play anymore. So, yeah, so that was a thing.
Fucking
BMPs. Generally speaking, that's my take on new players. Those are my favorite decks. I just can't wait to play the game. This game lives in my head rent-free. It's been living in my head rent-free for years now, so yeah.
Yep. There's just one thing I want to add here, and I think every single person here will agree. When it comes to new players, the biggest quick tip to avoid as a new player is SOCOM Airborne. Do not do it. It looks fun.
Oh, true. Thank you.
Do not do that shit.
Don't do it. Just add the air. Yeah.
Do not do that. But if for some reason you hate us, or you just really just want to do it and nothing can stop you, and you think you're the best SOCOM Airborne player there ever will be, use it as an anti-support deck. Get into the enemy backline and destroy their backline. Don't be frontlining with that shit. You're not going to do anything. All right. I just had to get that out of the way there. We're going to switch over here.
No FPV drones. Use vehicles. If you do not have FPV drones, use your fucking vehicles. You need them. Use your tanks to push. There you
yes,
go.
Exactly.
You don't need
if you're really, really cool, you can play Airborne SOCOM. Don't listen to anyone.
We'll edit this part out.
No, we won't. So we'll go on to the next part here with our next prompt. It's going to be, let's try to kind of keep it somewhat short because I do have to go pretty soon. Buff, nerf, or change requests. Let's try to keep it to like at the most 2 per person. So the prompt here would be, if you could change one thing before release, what would it be? So for me, I have 2 things. I have the soft buff that I want. I've said it in a video, so I won't go into it too much into detail, but the biggest thing is, like, if you're soft at any, like, your base level of smokes you should be 2. You should always be able to run faster than some fat fucking 18-year-old inside of a Bradley. Whether that's a faster cooldown or a longer sprint, doesn't matter to me. It should just be faster, like noticeably faster. And then the second buff nerf that I didn't talk about in a video would be the AC-130. That shit is a straight up fucking meme unit at this point. I get it. It's not supposed to be fucking amazing, whatever, but it's supposed to be like a glass cannon, where if you somehow get that shit into the fight, it should be able to do a lot of damage to punish the enemy for letting them have a fucking AC-130 floating over them for like 20 seconds. In the current build with it, I had it fly over the target for 20 seconds, and it lost a fucking 1v1 to a Verba squad in the open, not in a building. It was in the grass, a Verba squad fighting a fucking AC-130, and it lost to it. So it needs a buff. It needs to be stronger. It's just you can't be bad at getting to the enemy and bad at the enemy as well. It just doesn't make sense in my opinion. But if anyone has anything to explain or caveat off that, or if you just want to go into your next part.
Quick. Was it the one with the 105 or the one without?
It was the 105 with the 40.
It did have the 105?
Yeah.
Oh, no excuse then. Never mind.
Nope.
Like maybe if it had the cannon, maybe if it had the cannon, maybe it just didn't hit, but the 105 should have stunned them.
Yeah, I have they literally made a fucking meme gif out of it. Hold on. I'll show this to you guys here.
Yeah, that's crazy. I haven't really used it yet, but I assumed if you got it to live, it would be good, but that sounds like it needs a bit of help.
I mean, it suppressed the fuck out of them, but that's all it did.
That is a shame. Yeah, that is not good.
No, it'd be cool if that was. Do you want to go the same order or what? I have my ideas here. So
just go for it, man.
Okay. Okay. So there's a couple of things. One, I think they need to add a system for just straight up EW for planes. So if there were some kind of pods that you can put on the F-35s with no other like extra weapon systems or something like that. A lot of people, and this isn't my strong suit or whatnot, but I was talking to Operator Juski about this game a little while ago, and I don't know if he's actually going to be playing it or not, but he was bringing up the fact that like he wanted to see MALDs, he wanted to see EW, he wanted to see specific planes that were there to just do electronic wizardry, and he made such a fucking good point that the systems that are on the F-35 and I imagine the Raptor, but definitely the F-35 in general, are not just the weapon capabilities, but its sensors and its abilities to detect things. So I'd like to see something in that way come up for the United States. I understand that the scales are way down. There's not that BVR stuff. Stealth really counts in BVR and things like that. You get seen first, so you can shoot first, things like that, and it's just not feasible in a game like this. But I'd like to see it show up in other ways. So have some kind of, maybe it's for the airborne, maybe this is the F-35 variant that they give to specifically the US airborne in particular, where it's some kind of EW device or something like that, where it can detect radar specific units so that you can keep eyes on them and you know where they're at. It might be too powerful, but I'd just like to see it. I like to see what's going on with that, and it's just something else to worry about that is genuinely realistic. I understand the argument against MALDs. I understand the argument against drones and all that stuff, but interesting idea. I'd like to again see what's going on with MALDs. Anybody that doesn't know what that is, I don't want to see. I actually misspoke with drones. I don't want to add drones. I think that's going to be too messy. I think there's too much going on there especially with FPVs and stuff like that. Disagree with that in terms of like light drones, stuff like that. But MALDs in particular are basically just decoys. So they can be air launched, they can be ground launched. There's a bunch of things that you can do to just have it be a decoy so that if something turns its radar on and shoots at it, you know where it is. That was something that we used to pretty good success with wargame modding, and I didn't see any problem with it. So I genuinely, we can see it almost one-to-one with wargame mods, and it's cool. So why not add it here? And maybe have some kind of weird limit to it or something. Maybe you can only have 2, so they're not just completely spammed, but you do have the respawns. 2 is maybe too few, maybe 4. I don't know, something like that. The other thing too is at least one of these F-35s, I really wish would have the JADM or some kind of setup for it, or maybe ARGM ER or ARGM, something like that. Give one of the F-35 seed for fuck's sake, please. And then F-15EX I think you should either allow it to have 4 harms or allow it to have JADMs as well. What was the other thing, motherfucker? There was something else. Why no Growler for Marines? I understand there's other stuff coming, but like, come on.
Marines 2, baby.
Have it be an older one. I know, but like, have it be an older one or something. Come on, like, come on. That was it.
Yep.
Maybe incendiaries are too powerful.
Maybe.
yeah, they might be too powerful.
Mr. E, what you got? That you could go up. Don't.
No, don't worry, I'm good. So, one of the few things that I always think about, I agree with you with things around Ranger and stuff with that, the SOF. I think over the course of press, I came around seeing that a lot of the capabilities I want to do in SOF, I can achieve in any other spec right now, and to some degree. So I feel like SOF needs some sort of new, unique placeholder than just being, everything's like tier 2 and super sick. In some aspects, for its infantry, which is its mainstay, aside Hilo and Air. So I would like to see some new things on that. The only other ones I've really had in mind aren't necessarily too much with new additions or things, but I've always been a fan of like doing laser guided artillery and all of that stuff, and I feel like there needs to be some changes around that to improve its playability. I remember doing things like laser guided artillery all the way back in the first beta and a bit of the second beta, but I always found it hard to pull off up to this point, and I don't know if that's because most of my games have been a lot more intense and stuff like that, where I feel like artillery time since the betas up to press has been increased, or at least the aim time and stuff like that. So it's, even for precision, it's really hard to like line up a shot, plan it carefully, and all of this stuff, and you have not enough room for error tolerance. If they move, the precision doesn't mean anything either, and stuff like that, which is one of the few things that I've missed from this game. So I think those are two like biggest ones that's on the top of the head that I can confidently talk about.
Yeah.
Other than that,
what would you change about lasers to make it better?
I would just like to see the laser activate from a bit further away, giving projectiles a bit more time to reach its or like turn or curve, or like you can curve shot your artillery and stuff like that. Not cool, to a crazy degree, but I've always found when I've tried it, and I've done it in press with Hippie, but I had to aim directly on top of T-72 and laser it just to hit the top armor, and the moment it moved like 10 meters, the shell was out of range. Okay, 10 meters is a bit of a over-exaggeration, but it moved at least a good 50 to 100 meters, and by that point, the precision rounds couldn't make the curve anymore.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea of making it a bit wider range on the lock-on for laser. That's a good idea.
I definitely agree with a lot of the ones regarding giving like the EX more availability as well and stuff like that. Like a lot of these ones are things that I don't really think about, but like I definitely don't have any disagreement with so far. So yeah, I like to see the EX get a bit more fancy toys. It is meant to be a new fancy plane as well.
Mm-hmm.
It needs the JADM. You need to give the 15 EX the JADM.
Yeah, I don't see why.
I agree. I agree with giving it more harms. I think that makes it a very versatile plane where, you know, you look at Russia, you can do a lot of different roles in Russian planes. You can technically do these on some of the US planes, but not to the full degree that Russian planes can lean into in some of them. So
especially when it's not real. The seed missiles for the fucking Su-57 don't fit in the Su-57. Like that doesn't. It's not a thing. It's just come on.
But yeah, no, I definitely agree.
I can sum it up quickly. I say I want to see better formation tools. I want to see at least click dragging your units out further, because it's a noob trap that you do group unit moves in this game, and it just makes you very bombable and artilleryable. I think you need to be able to spread that out further, like in Total War. I just want to see helicopters be less sluggish. I think their acceleration deceleration is very sluggish. It makes them unresponsive. It makes them not feel very agile to use. I'd like to see that improved.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Sounds good. So we'll edit out the part where I fucked up and cut you out. I apologize about that. I feel like a fucking asshole.
No, you're fine. All right, you're on time.
Yeah. But with that being said, once the game is downloaded and we are ready to play, like, what is the absolute first thing you're gonna do once the game turns on? You heard that music? Anybody?
Hopefully not.
Right into multiplayer.
Yeah, hopefully not have a stroke and die. actually get to play the game.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of torn because we're a lot of us in here are content creators. You're not a YouTube goblin, right? But I'm kind of torn because what I would really like to do is lock myself in a dark room for 2 weeks, talk to no one, and really focus on improving. But instead, I know I'm going to be streaming it from like release date and putting out content and stuff, where it's a little harder for me to get good. So I kind of want both, right? I kind of just want to like have no one bother me for ages and just get into this game. But that's not how it's going to play out for me.
Well, the obvious thing is make decks.
Yeah, of course.
Everything's going to be restarted, so we're going to...
Oh, that fucking sucks.
That'll take about, 6 to 9 days to do that. Probably.
I wish there was a website where we could build decks with the previous specs.
Yeah, I wonder if there was...
I've heard there's a few out there.
Whoa.
I was actually about to give you a plug on that too. It's funny.
He's not doing it for himself, so you gotta do it.
There's mine. There's BA Armory. Me and React.
What's
the Armory? Got shit.
Possibly. What's yours called?
BA Hub.
There we go.
We got a tournament going on. It's about to get real. It's gonna be.
There's a dash in the URL.
There's a dash in the URL because I am terrible at naming decisions.
BA.hub.
Dash hub.
Oh, dash. Fuck. BA dash. Shout out your own shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff to put out there. Yeah, it's not ready yet. There's still a few more things I need to do. But yeah, no, it's coming up with a lot more things, especially for team collaboration features as well. Which is actually meant for the tournament stuff that I will probably not going to talk about now too much. I don't know if he has to go. But, there's going to be a bunch of things on there to help teams get together and people to learn the game and teach as well. A bunch of teaching aids. And I've got a lot of other people that are going to be making content for the site. So, yeah.
Dude, team collaboration has to be... He'll plug it, I promise. The team collaboration has to be the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to, especially with my team for the competitive scene. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. And then we have all these plans and shit that we don't want to discuss, but I want to see if they can work properly and how well it's gonna work on another team that's trying their own shit to stop us at their best level. And you're playing against teams that care about the actual game, not random dudes we're solo queuing. So I'm excited for that comp scene. It's going to be great. Thank you again, Yeet, Martin, and the other guy, I can't remember his name, for setting that up. You guys are awesome. It was my little thought, baby. Derek. Yeah, Derek. Militaris, that guy. Yeah, no disrespect. My TBIs go burr. It's super cool. Super excited. And then thank you, NoiceGuy, Beagle, and Yeet for coming out and having a little chit chat with me about the game. 17 days. I when you actually said that in the beginning, I made a post today because I hit 2K subscribers on YouTube, and I said that it's thank you so much. I said it's fucking 15 days away because my math ain't mathin', so I'm not changing it.
You'll get to 15 days, and then it's 2 days away, so who cares?
Exactly.
Christmas counting when you're a kid.
Yeah.
You're just going to get under 2 weeks.
You got early access as well.
Hey, bro, the only reason I knew is because I've been counting down since 30. The first day that I put the 30 out there, I tried 4 times just to be, is it actually 30? Wait. And it took me
you have a little calendar inside your bed and you're just crossing out the days.
Oh my god, it's advent calendar. You got little chocolate and shit.
Yeah.
Going to Google and opening a Google tab and typing in days until 17th June or whatever it is. And I have done that probably 10 times. Yeah.
That is hilarious.
I'm Australian, so I gotta go a day ahead.
Oh, true. Yeah, you're in the future.
Oh, you're gonna get it earlier than us? That's so unfair.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
That's not how time works.
Yeah. Oh, let me get upside down. Fuck you.
Alrighty, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Alrighty.
Anytime to let me offload some of the stuff that's stuck in my brain. Anytime, bro.
Alrighty.
I'd like to talk about it.
All right. If you guys want to run some later, we could do playing things against each other, with each other, whatever the fuck. Doesn't matter to me. I'm always down.
That's fun.
All righty, guys. I'll see you around. Thank you.
See you around.
Judo?
Shout out to Something, who once convinced a flock of migrating geese to spell out her name across 3 time zones. Big props to Agor, who can whistle in such a high pitch that only satellites can hear his grocery list. Applause for Fern, who built a working roller coaster out of spaghetti noodles and pure determination. Major respect to JTT Rusky, who once arm wrestled his own shadow and lost, but still got a participation trophy. Cheers to Lefty, who can fold a fitted sheet so perfectly it opens a portal to a parallel universe. Standing ovation for Maverick, who taught a colony of ants to perform synchronized swimming in a teacup. Big ups to Rickson037, who can predict the weather by listening to the sound of cheese melting. Kudos to Rich, who once convinced a traffic light to turn green just by winking at it. Salute to Scar, who can recite the entire dictionary backwards while balancing on a unicycle made of breadsticks. And props to Sniggle Penny, who trained a team of hamsters to reenact famous movie scenes using only interpretive dance.